Now that you've seen part 1 and part 2 of the series, you probably have a lot of questions.
And if you haven't parched?
He's thirsty.
And if you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, they're on the screen right now somewhere. Go ahead, click on them so you can get caught up. We'll wait for you. You know what? We're waiting.
We're waiting.
All right.
And if you don't want to watch part 1 and part 2, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
So in this video, we're gonna give you some clear, actionable steps about things that you can do right now and how to progress to ending up with some real healthy feet.
And healthy feet are sexy feet.
Our #1 recommendation for creating healthy feet, the lowest of low hanging fruit, is take off your shoes when you go in your house, please. No shoes, no socks ever in your house, maybe unless you're rocking some slippers and
it's really cold. That's the only reason.
That's fair.
That's the only reason.
All right, we'll give you that.
Make sure you're continuously looking for opportunities to move your feet. So if you're at the office, kick your shoes off. Wiggle those toes, try to create an arch. Same if you're watching TV at the house. You're sitting on your comfy couch, kick them off. Wiggle the toes around.
You should be very aware of what your feet are capable of and continually trying to explore new ways to move your feet. Now, let's get to the exercises. And finally, we're here. The part you've all been waiting for. Here's 5 simple movements that you can do in your house. You already are barefoot. All these exercises should be done barefoot. And we chose these 5 exercises because they're the best bang for your buck for making your feet stronger, more flexible, and more coordinated. Let's get started with the first one. We're gonna work on the strength of your arch. And I touched on this briefly in part 1 of this series. You're gonna stand with your feet facing forward. We're going to lift the arch. If you have no idea how to lift your arch, simple, quick shortcut, you just lift your toes as high as you can. It'll naturally pull your arch up. See this? Whoosh. Arch collapse, lift my toe, lift my arch, bam. So now from here, this may be it. Just work on finding balance from front to back. So you want half your weight in the front of your foot, half the weight in the back of your foot, and side to side. You want half the weight towards the middle of your foot, half the weight towards the pinky side of the foot. Now, all we do to progress this, take your feet a little bit wider and just start to rock your weight over to one foot. Maybe starting with 60-40, and we'll just go back and forth here. Then moving to 70-30 until eventually I get to the point where I can, while maintaining my arch, lift that foot off the ground. Cool? Now I'm standing on one foot. Notice my knees travel forward. I'm not pushing my hips backwards. Knee is forward, weight is equally distributed. One tendency I see people make, or one tendency I see people have most of the time, is to shift the weight to the outside of the foot. So make sure you're pushing through that big toe knuckle. Do this exercise for 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 to 5 times a week, and I guarantee your arches will get stronger.
For the next exercise, we have the ankle roll. One of my all-time favorites, because you could ask Trevor, Luciano don't roll his ankles. So how you do this movement is basically, we're going to create a flat foot. So you could really exaggerate this, rotate that knee inward, right? Then from there, I'm going to come into my arch position, just like Trevor was saying. I lift my toes if I need, and then I'm going to slowly roll to the side. I'm really focusing on my ankle here and really pushing that end range of motion. But be careful, don't injure yourself, start slowly. So if you only need to come to here and that's too much, that's fine. When you feel really comfortable that you've gotten to your end range of motion, you could start putting a little bit more weight into it. Again, be really careful here. Once you feel super comfortable, you can start doing this with both feet. So collapse your arch, create your arch, roll to the outside, and come back. Another thing that you could play with is try keeping your arch and bringing your feet inwards. The reason why we create this collapsed arch is because it's very unrealistic to think that we're going to always be walking around in a perfect arch or being super dynamic and playing crazy sports while keeping an arch at the same time. So it's really important that we can collapse our arch and come back to creating our arch. I recommend for this movement, if you're doing on one foot at a time, do 1 minute each foot. if you're doing both feet at the same time, just for 1 minute. And like I said earlier, I literally never roll my ankles. See?
As we mentioned previously in this series, most people got stiff ass ankles. And what I mean by that is we don't have the ability to dorsiflex, bring the toe towards the shin, and where that comes out is people have a hard time with this position right here. So guess what? We're gonna practice it. The exercise we're gonna do is called the Patrick Step Up. And we stole this from ATG guys, knees over toes guy. You might have seen him on Instagram, you might have not. Go check him out if you haven't. Here's the idea. We're gonna stand on one foot, and if this is too challenging on one foot, you can always just put your other foot on the ground and try not to put that much weight into it. But the idea is we keep our torso upright and we try to drive the knee as far forward as possible over the toes, stretching the back side, compressing the front side, and then coming back up. And you'll feel a lot of muscles in the feet, the ankles, and the quad working to make this happen. Let me show you from the front. Notice my toes, my knee, and my hip are all in alignment. Oftentimes we'll see people collapse their arch and the knee goes in, or swing the hip out wide. So I really want to stress, the key is focusing on alignment. Keep that arch, keep everything straight. And finally, if this feels really easy, you can do 10 to 20 reps like nothing. Go ahead and add some weight. Maybe you hold some dumbbells. You can even potentially do this with a barbell on your back.
In jiu-jitsu, we call this the samurai position. A lot of cultures around the world use this to sit at the dinner table or just relax. It seems like in Western civilization, we have a really hard time with this position because of our stiff ass ankles. So today we're gonna help you get into this amazing samurai position. This relaxing position might seem really intimidating to you, but don't worry, I got your back. So how we're gonna start is we're gonna start in a tall kneel position. So some of you might not be able to get your feet totally pointed. That's all right. It might look more like this. All we're going to do is we're going to lean back into our ankles, making sure that a lot of our force is going down into here, and we're gonna bounce back and forth. Over time, you could gradually go deeper and deeper into this position until eventually you might end up here. Now an extra credit stretch we could do here is put our toes down like this and sit back for a nice toe stretch. Your toes should be able to go to 90 degrees right here. If not, you got problems, but don't worry, just do the stretch, you'll be good.
All right, the fifth and final exercise, and this is gonna make a few of you uncomfortable, but you're gonna have to get acquainted with your feet in ways maybe you haven't done before. So, simple exercise called foot wringing. You're going to put your fingers between your toes.
So some of you might not be able to get your fingers all the way into your toes, and that's fine, but continuously push those limits. If it only looks like this for you, that's all right. We can still do our movements. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wiggle our foot around. Real simple. Wiggle it in all the ways that you could think possible.
That's why it's called foot wringing. We're wringing your foot out.
I like to call it foot wriggling.
I don't like that. I think this is important to talk about here. Your foot should not be pointed at the end, right? It should not look like this. A natural foot looks more like a triangle going outwards.
Unless you're one of those weirdos whose middle toe is longer than their big toe. That's weird.
I think mine is. You're weird. We recommend doing that exercise. That's one you can just do sitting down watching TV. Honestly, a few minutes at a time, play with it. You could spend a long time doing that one. And all of these exercises, you should try to do 1 to 3 times a week if you're really trying to make progress on making your feet more healthy.
Remember, healthy feet are sexy feet.
Now, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna make the transition into better footwear. This should be done gradually. It's not something you wanna hop right into. So we're gonna talk about how you can make the transition from wearing some shoes that we think are unhealthy choices, moving towards some healthy choices. Let's get out of here. All right, people, this here is called King of the Course. We got 2 starting points, Chris's and mine. They might flip, who knows? The object of the game is to get to the other person's starting point. Now, here's the kicker. Floor is lava. Don't get caught touching the ground. If you do, you have to go back to the starting point, count 3 seconds out loud, and I want to hear 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000 clearly. That's it. By the way, this game inspired by Rafe Kelly. He just kind of made it up on the spot one day, and pretty dope. Go.
One 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000.
Oh no!
Oh.
You're on the ground. You touched.
I didn't touch.
You touched.
I didn't touch.
I watched your foot touch.
I didn't touch.
Oh fuck.
Review the footage.
Well, ha! It's all wobbly. Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Oh, you moved me. 2 1000, 2 1000. Oh shit. One 1000, 2 1000,
No!
3 1000.
No! Gargoyle, bro.
One 1000, 2 1000. Nice work, dude. Nice work. King of the mountain. What do you have to say for yourself, Chris?
It's too easy.
We're leaving home, heading off into the wild unknown. Just 2 men, 2 backpacks, and way too many cameras.
Drone, 2 cell phones, a camera, a lot less food,
Definitely less food.
a little less water,
I have no water.
more blood.
Damn, that happened just now?
Yeah, during our game.
Ooh, war one.
Victory wound. All right, guys.
Ah, horsefly.
Oof.
That was a spider, actually.
Bit you?
I got bit by a spider.
Got bit by a spider. We're gonna be on the trail, and while we're on the trail, we're gonna give you our recommendations for not only footwear, or is it only footwear?
Well, yeah, definitely footwear.
Definitely
but maybe,
footwear.
Maybe some other stuff too.
And maybe some other stuff too. There's an echo here. We're in a valley. We'll see you on the trail.
Nice thing about the hike out of here, it's all downhill, baby. Just following this creek.
You're a liar. You said it's all downhill from here.
All right. That's fair. Our recommendation is that everyone should be moving towards wearing more minimal or barefoot shoes on a regular basis. And what I mean by a minimalist shoe is one that has less material between your foot and the ground, less drop, meaning the height of the heel versus the height of the toe, and a wider toe box. So you're not getting that wedge, you're getting a nice and open space for your toes to splay out.
Now, there are occasions for sports or certain activities that do require arch support, or maybe more cushion on the sole, or maybe even a little ankle support. But be intuitive about it. Don't wear thick ass heels on your everyday stuff. Take your shoes off. Relax, let your hair down.
Don't make this mistake. I too often see people try to just go right into the minimal barefoot 5-finger shoes and they end up with some serious injuries. You might end up with some tendonitis, some ligament sprains. You don't want to go that route. So here's the deal. You need to do this slowly and progressively over time.
If you're used to wearing these all the time, look into shoes that have smaller and smaller drops. This progression should take years for you to finally get to that barefoot level.
Which is zero.
Which is zero.
Zero. Yeah, and everyone's situation is different. So the context of your life, your shoes, is different than everyone else's. And so you need to be a bit intuitive with this. So if you wear orthotics every day, all day, then maybe the first step is not going out and getting a new pair of shoes, but just trying to take out your orthotics for 1 hour out of the day, and then bump it up to 2, and then 4. And then next thing you know, after a few months, you might not be wearing orthotics anymore, as long as you're doing your exercises right. And then maybe it's time to go try some new shoes. Don't be in a rush to make this happen. It doesn't need to be something where you get so excited and you think you're Superman and you can just make all these changes. Take your time, do your exercises, and enjoy the process.
Smell this flower. found some raspberries. Wild country raspberries. Your grandma definitely didn't grow these. That one was pretty sour.
Yum. Now, if you are ready to make the transition to minimalist shoes, we got you on some recommendations. These are in no order of our favorite. We just have a lot that we like. My first pair of minimalist shoes were Zero shoes. I like them because not only do they have good shoes, but also they have really cheap barefoot sandals that they get so cheap that you can actually just, they send you a pack and you put them together on your own. So I like how they make it real affordable.
Now this first one is my personal favorite. I'm a huge fan of Groundies. They're really, really well made, and they're a great everyday shoe. Like, you could wear them out if you're going to a brewery, or you could wear them out hiking and they'll fit in no matter what.
And the pair he has, I always think he's barefoot because they're the same color as his skin. I'd say the most well-known minimalist or barefoot shoe company is Vivo Barefoot. They're kind of like the gold standard of the industry. I'd say they have the best designs. They probably look the coolest. However, they're expensive. And some of them are so minimal that you might tear through them pretty quickly. I've gone through a lot of pairs of them, and I think in the past few years, they've really addressed that issue. But if you're buying them, then you might be taking a chance.
Next on the list for me, I don't know if they make these anymore, but they're the Merrell Vapor 2. I was wearing them throughout the video. If you find another pair of these, please let me know. Or if you have a pair that's unused, I will buy them off of you. They're so good. They're great for trail running. They're great for hiking. They're good for parkour. They're the best shoe ever made that they don't make anymore. Besides Groundies, which are way better. If you want to sponsor us, Groundies, we're willing.
I like the Vapors. They have some new ones. They have up until I think 5 or 6 now, but I think last time I checked they might be discontinued. So hey, if anyone from Merrell is watching this, please put those back in production.
Bring back the Vapor 2.
They were actually both of our favorite barefoot shoe. Next up, we got Lems. I have a few pairs of Lems right now. I have their Boulder boot for wintertime. They are fully water resistant. They're literally the only good looking zero drop boot I've really ever seen. And I've been wearing the Lems Primal 2s for parkour. They have more cushion than like a fully minimal shoe, but they're still zero drop. Nice protection for my heels because I'm not that good and I always smash my heels on things.
For the blue collar people, military people, people that work outside and need a pair of boots, Belleville. It's made in the USA. They make a really, really, really good zero drop boot. They even have trainers, so you could work your way down to that zero drop. Check them out. They're pretty amazing.
And you may have seen in this video, I really like to wear the minimalist sandal. It's literally just like a little tiny strip of material in between you and the ground. I like Shama. They're a brand out of Santa Cruz, California local. Chris really hates it when I wear these because he thinks they look dumb, but you know what? Foot health over everything. I think I see cars.
Vehicles.
I was getting pretty tired by the end there. My feet were aching, my toes hurt.
Oh, Trevor, maybe you should get healthy feet, huh?
Maybe I need some arch support. Maybe some ankle support too.
Yeah, need some ankle support.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the series of videos, and if you watched the whole series, then you came along with us for our whole backpacking trip.
Whole trip.
Basically family by this point.
You were right there with us. I wanted to quit so many times, but you were there.
Wow. Thanks so much. We appreciate every like, every comment, every subscription. I don't even know what the notification bell does, to be honest.
I don't know either, but you should probably click it and let us know in the comments what it does.
You know, as always, leave us a comment about, any videos you want to see, and we appreciate you. We just really appreciate you. All right, we're gonna hit the road. Who needs a gym?
Who needs a gym?
Looks like we got out just in time. Started hailing right quick after we got in the truck.
You wanna be with me, log cabin.